Hey everybody, what's going on? My name's Mike and I have been involved in the TTRPG space for 30 plus years. I DM 2 campaigns and I play in a third over at twitch.tv/how I nerd. Recently, I saw a meme about DND Beyond and getting a free copy if you buy the physical copy of the book. And I wanted to give you guys my opinion and weigh in on the matter. All right, guys, so there it is. There's the crux of the whole situation. That meme that I just posted. Every D&D source book should come with a code so that it can be redeemed on D&D and Beyond. Now, I saw this making the rounds the other day. I saw it on Reddit and I also saw it on Facebook and a couple of groups I belong to. And I thought it was a super interesting question. And I wanted to post it so that my community could weigh in and other people that I've worked with in the TTRPG space could weigh in and let me know what they think. Now, I put it up there with my opinion, which I think is an unpopular opinion, but I guess I was proved wrong. I said, unpopular opinion, I disagree. I think that WOTC and D&D and Beyond are two completely separate companies. And I think that for D&D Beyond to exist, it needs to sell products to keep the lights on. Let's face it. We know WOTC is charging them for a license cost to provide the product to the end users. And I think the product that D&D Beyond is actually selling is the easy use, the time management, and the tools they use to make the game better for the average player. So we're going to break down a couple reasons why, a couple pros and cons, and we're going to go over my thoughts on each of those. And ultimately, at the end, I want to give the most popular opinion that's been in the tweet, and I think it's a really good avenue that D&D and WOTC could come together on that would expand their product to a much bigger audience. All right, so I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to look at the point of view in the meme here. The point of view is that you should get the book for free if you buy a physical copy. And I just want to remind you guys, if you're going to buy a physical copy, please support your local hobby stores. They have kept this hobby alive for so many years, and they deserve our support. So make sure you support your local hobby store. All right, so the point of view is that they shouldn't have to buy the same product twice. And I get that because money is important to us all. And not all of us have the money to throw away or spend on two separate the same product twice. And that's it's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. And like I said, I certainly understand that. And I get where people are coming from, that it's important to have the content and they think that it should be given to them for free because they've already purchased a hard copy. I'm going to go into the other side of it now and tell you why I don't necessarily agree with that. So while I love having my money in my pocket and not having to buy everything twice, I understand that WOTC has to make money on their product and D&D Beyond has to have a margin because part of their business model to keep the lights on and provide this service to everybody else is they have to make a profit. They're a company, they have a responsibility to their employees, and they have a responsibility for making money and keeping the lights on so everybody can use the service, right? We know WOTC's not giving them the content for free to sell. I mean, they just won't do that. If you look at the margins from a local brick and mortar, there's not that great of a margin. So D&D Beyond uses this as part of their business model to keep the lights on and provide the service that they do to the consumer. So that service isn't always the book. That service, to me at least, is they're giving players back time because they manage D&D Beyond manages so many different aspects like leveling up character, sharing the books with other players. That what you're buying with D&D Beyond is ease of use, tools to optimize your game, and organization of your content. So I don't subscribe to the fact that it should be given away for free. I don't believe that. It's not a sustainable business model, and I don't think that D&D Beyond would be able to operate if that was the case. All right, so one of the things that I've seen consistently in the comments on my tweet is that people should be afforded the PDF if they buy the physical book. Now, I'm not against that. I have so much Paizo content, and I also have physical and PDF copies of it. That being said, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I know companies are constantly worried about piracy and sharing to people who are not consumers of their product, that it's just getting shared among friends. But I think at that point, if people are doing that, there's nothing we can really do to stop that. Like it's just not a thing. We've dealt with piracy throughout digital media the whole time. I think this is a good idea. I think it's a step in the right direction, and it gives people added value for their purchase. Now, I don't know WOTC's licensing agreements, and if it costs money to the creators of the content if they give the digital PDF away with the physical book. But I think this would be a good initial olive branch between WOTC and the consumers of the product, being, hey, listen, we're giving you added value by giving you the digital copy with the book. A couple of the complaints I saw out there with having a physical book is that you have to lug it around, right? D&D Beyond, again, you're paying for the convenience of having it at your fingertips wherever you have an internet connection. So I think maybe giving somebody a PDF with the book would be a great first step in the right direction. All right, so the next thing I'm seeing online, and this is a good analogy for the whole situation. In my opinion, it's pretty damn close. So the concept is, if you buy a game on Steam, you don't get it on PlayStation 4 or Xbox, and that is very close to the situation here. And I think it's a great analogy. You know, as consumers, as gamers, we tend to buy a game on a platform, and occasionally we might have to buy it on another platform. Let's face it, you can't get all your friends on the same platform, and unless it's got crossplay, you're never going to get everybody together, right? But it's a great way to look at it. D&D Beyond and WOTC are two completely separate companies, and when I posted this post, I didn't realize how many people didn't realize that was the case. So again, if you're looking at it from a perspective from an established gaming community, if you buy it on Steam, you're not going to automatically get it on Xbox or PS4. I mean, there's a rare occasion out there where that's not true, but that is certainly seems to be the standard in this case. So to summarize this tweet, this person says that D&D Beyond has to pay less money because they don't have to develop it. The material's already written, illustrated, and play tested. Now, I've worked in IT for 15 years, and I understand how backend and infrastructure works, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do as well. The thing is, yes, they are paying for a final product, right, where they don't have to revise, but that product still has to be entered in the system. It still has to be configured. The infrastructure for the programming has to be put in place. Server hosting, bandwidth costs, domain name registration. I mean, there's any number of different things that they have to do. Hell, payment gateways. I mean, we all know the payment companies are getting their cut on every transaction. So while this content is already established, it still has to be reestablished in the new system. If you look at like Fantasy Grounds and Roll20, they don't just take a PDF and hand it to you guys through their products. They take the time to automate those rules, automate the characters, fill out the stats for the different characters, the different NPCs, the different towns, the maps, everything like that. That takes time, and they're paying somebody to do that. So I personally think, being an IT guy, that those people should be rewarded for their time, and the company should be able to monetize that. They're providing a great service to a lot of people, and they need to keep the lights on. So I see nothing wrong with that at all. So one of the common things that solutions that I'm seeing from the people in the tweet that I put out is that D&D or WOTC and D&D Beyond should come together to work on a bundle, right? Maybe upcharge somebody if they buy the physical copy through WOTC. Or hell, even your local brick and mortar store, they offer these stores a bundle. So they upcharge you whatever amount, let's say arbitrarily $20. So normally this book's $50, they tack on another $20 on it, and you get it on D&D and Beyond. Now, in concept, I think that's a really good option. I think that's a good solution for this. But again, us as consumers, we have no idea about the total cost to produce the product, the margin, and like I said earlier, for a brick and mortar, it's not that great of a margin. So it's easy for us as consumers to stand on the outside and look into the situation and say, oh, they're a big company, they can afford to take the hit and make money through volume licensing. But we don't know. We don't know what they're paying the people. We don't know what they're paying the the people that create this content. We don't know what they're paying for keeping the lights on at their businesses. And I get it. A lot of people aren't concerned with that, but I personally think that if we're not paying for this stuff and they're not putting out content, we're not going to have no new content to consume. Again, like I said, bundling I think is a good option. I think that's a a great option. They could have a book with a digital code in it and just a sealed book, because we've all seen it in the past where people steal the codes out of a book. But I think that is a really good option for people. Well, for D&D and Beyond and WOTC to look at. A bundle would be a great choice. All right, if you look through my tweet, the most common thing I am seeing from people saying that would help them become a consumer of D&D and Beyond after owning the physical copy of the book is to receive a discount code for partial credit off. Now, I'm on board with this. I know in my previous comment I said I have no idea what the margins are. I have no idea if this is a viable business model for WOTC or D&D and Beyond. But I personally I have seen it work with another product. I consume a lot of content on Fantasy Grounds, and I consume a lot of Paizo content on Fantasy Grounds. So what Fantasy Grounds does, and I think they do this for Roll20, but I'm not sure because I don't use Roll20 that much, is if you buy the content through Paizo and it's linked to your account, you link your account to Fantasy Grounds and Steam, and they give you credit for the product that you already own. However, you still have to pay a fee to Fantasy Grounds that covers them for their hosting costs, their server bandwidth space, their development costs, and it probably offsets some of the licensing. So I feel really good about this business model because I'm supporting Fantasy Grounds, which is one of my favorite products in the world. I'm supporting Paizo, which is one of my favorite content creators around when it comes to TTRPG stuff. And I feel like everybody's getting a fair share. I feel like I'm being treated fairly as well. I'm getting a discount, and like I said, with WOTC and D&D Beyond, I don't know if this is a viable business model, but taking the pulse of the tweet out there, it seems like they would pick up a lot more business if they in fact just offered a discount code to people who already own the physical copy. And again, people really should be buying that physical copy from a local hobby shop. I can't stress that enough. So I think this is the best option for people. I really think it's a solid option for these companies to take a look at, and maybe we can get this in front of WOTC and D&D Beyond and hopefully get some codes out there for people. I think it's a good, responsible business standpoint, and I think as a consumer, it would definitely make me more likely to consume content on D&D Beyond and take advantage of those tools that make everybody's gaming experience that much easier. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Those are my personal opinions on the matter. From a consumer standpoint, I would be much more likely to consume D&D Beyond if I got a coupon code for buying the physical copy of the book. That way, again, we get to support our local brick and mortar store. We get a discount, and we get to take advantage of the tools offered to us by D&D Beyond. Guys, I'd love to hear your opinion below. Check in below and let us know what you think or what your opinion is on the matter. Thanks again. My name's Mike, and this is How I Nerd.